Hi there. Happy Sunday. We made it here again. I'm Isla, your host, and welcome back to Renew Your Soul. Thank you for being here. First of all, I hope you are well and are able to take some time today to renew in mind, body, soul, or all of the above. I hope that you are taking time for soul care as much as possible every day and not just on the weekend. And I hope that you are in a space right now that either brings a sense of calm to you, connects you to your truth, or inspires you in some way. Last weekend, I attended a women's creative writing retreat in Valle de Guadalupe, Mexico, also known as Baja California, and so many beautiful connections were made there. I connected with not only women who were also going with the intention of meeting other writers and creatives and other like-minded people, but connection to new inspiration as well. Before I went on this retreat, I made the intention to go in with an open mind and practice the art of listening. I think it's so important for us to know there is a difference between listening and hearing. When we take the time to listen in our conversations with friends, loved ones, coworkers, etc., we in return are truly able to hear the words, thoughts, ideas, challenges that people are sharing with us. Instead of when we are hearing, things might be coming in one ear and out the other. I do believe we become better people when we practice listening, active listening, I should say, as much as we can. So today we're going to chat a little bit about active listening and what that entails, why active listening is an important element in improving our communication, ways to practice better active listening in our daily conversations, and a few journaling questions to take with you as well. So we'll start off with, what is active listening? Active listening is making a conscious effort to hear, understand, and retain any information that is being relayed to you in a conversation with another person. When we are actively listening, we aren't just giving the person we're speaking to a fraction of our attention, but we are there participating in the conversation. We're not on our phones. We're not tuning the other person out. We're not constantly interrupting. Things like that. We've all done it. We've all been in communication or a part of a conversation where we're not fully understanding or in tune with the other person or people who are speaking. Not only is that not cool, but when we are on the other side of the conversation, sharing our ideas, challenges, thoughts, etc., we want other people to be interested in the conversation by sharing their thoughts, their feedback, or even just acknowledging the conversation that is happening. If you think back to a specific special conversation or interaction you've had lately, in the past few days, in the past week, in the past month, what made that conversation special? Was it the words you heard back from the other person or set of people? Was it the feedback you got? Maybe you felt a connection with that person or set of people because they also shared something with you that was personal to them, or just a special connection was made in that moment. Or maybe it was just they made you feel seen and heard. They were completely engaged with you the whole time and they weren't on their phones. They kept eye contact with you for the full conversation. Whatever it was, they either probably participated in active listening through verbal or nonverbal cues. There are a few things we can do to be better active listeners in our daily lives. I pulled a few resources from Masterclass and a few from the Center for Creative Leadership. And we'll start off with staying engaged in a conversation by asking questions. When you're speaking to someone, you can ask a question after they are saying their point, when it makes the most sense, or when the person is done speaking. Asking questions is just one way to show that you are not only interested in what the person is telling you, but you are showing you want to continue the conversation. So that is one way to practice active listening. Another way you can show you are active listening is by not sharing your judgment for what they are telling you. We all have our own preconceived ideals and thoughts. But no one is perfect, and who are we to judge what someone else is going through or sharing with us? The best thing we can ever do is be there for someone and really show that we are not judging what is being shared with us. I believe this always leads to beautiful conversations and words. Another way to practice active listening is to simply make the person feel heard. And this can be done in many ways, through verbal cues like nodding your head, smiling if you feel that is how you want to show the person you are there and engaged, and anything else you feel that lets that person know you are giving your positive reinforcement, you are giving your full attention however you can in that moment. Non-verbal cues you can also engage in a conversation with include body language, facial expressions, and your tone of voice when you are speaking. The main reason I wanted to touch on active listening today is because this is something that I am currently working on as I am managing different connections and just the people in my life. I know I mentioned this already. I do believe that we become better people when we are active listeners, when we allow people to say what they need to say, express what they need to express in a safe, sacred place. Just as we want to create sacred, safe spaces in our lives, when we wake up, when we go about our day, when we finish our day, ideally, we have a sacred space where we connect to our soul. For some people, this is a sacred space outside in nature. That is one of my favorite sacred spaces to connect to my soul on a daily basis. I go out in nature as much as I can, and that is where I feel safe. For other people, it can look like a part of their living room or even a part of your bedroom. Maybe you have your favorite books, your sacred intentional objects like essential oils or a journal or your favorite pens or your drawing book, whatever that looks like for you. We have these sacred spaces. Now imagine having a sacred space with a human being. You know, a person that you can go to express whatever might be happening in your life or in your emotions, or you want to be vulnerable. Who do you go to? For some people, it might be their best friend. For others, it could be your mom or your dad or your siblings. These people are our sacred spaces. They are people that we trust. They are people we can be vulnerable with. They are human people. And more importantly, they have souls that allow us to really connect with in a very humanistic, special, beautiful way. So now that you have thought about that person who can be a sacred place for you to go to, they are a sacred friend or loved one in your life, imagine being that for someone else. Imagine being that sacred friend and that sacred place for someone to go to when they need a listening ear, when they need a human to connect with, in a world where so much of our life is lived in a virtual and in a very technical way. Maybe this person or people might want to go to you because you know how to listen. You are able to be there for them in a non-judgmental way. You are able to allow them to be vulnerable with no questions asked, safe to be who they are with a person who they trust. We all deserve to have these sacred places to go to, a community, a group of friends and loved ones who make you feel safe, make you feel heard, make you feel seen, and make you feel loved. And I think we have to admit, it's not easy. We all know it. It's not easy to always show up how you would want someone to show up for you. We all have lives that are very complicated, very diverse, and very busy. But I think the first initial step for all of us is to have a conversation with ourselves. Am I active listening in my conversations? Am I holding space for people to be themselves? Am I showing up how I would want someone to show up for me? And these are just some starter questions to get those ideas rolling in your life. I had to have a conversation with myself recently because I do want to have very authentic and magical flowing friendships and connections with other people. I want people to feel safe. I want them to feel heard. And we all might think that we're doing it, but we could probably do a little bit better of a job. When you're talking with your friends or when you finally make time for them adult friendships are so hard. You have to schedule these weeks in advance, and one person is busy and one person is always busy, and you just can never find the time. But when you do finally schedule that, it's like you have to show up and know that, okay, I am showing up. I'm not just going to be on my phone. I'm not going to interrupt them at every chance that I have. And it's not to say that you aren't going to voice your personal opinions if needed, and you're not just there as a body taking up space. This is just an idea for you to think about when you are going about your day and having these conversations with your close friends, but also with people that you might just meet on a one-on-one basis in a regular, normal day. When you are running your errands, when you're talking to your coworkers, when you talk to your parking lot attendant, things like this. How do you want to be remembered? And are you showing up for the people in your life the same way that you would want them to show up for you? This is just a beginning of this conversation. I would love to hear your thoughts on active listening and how you have active, engaging, authentic conversations and connections with those in your life. Please share with me. Send me a message. I want to hear from you. Thank you for spending time with me on this beautiful Soul Sunday. I am sending you so much love as always. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. If it's on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to it, please drop a rate and review. It lets me know and the platforms know that you would love to continue hearing more of Renew Your Soul. You can also follow along on Instagram at Sesiones. I am sending you so much love. I hope beautiful things happen to you this week. And remember to listen to that quiet whisper within your soul when it's asking you for renewal. You know what renewal looks like for you in your mind, in your body, in your heart, in your soul. Make time for it as much as you can this week. All right, I'll talk to you next week. Bye.